Well, Kohberger is in jail in Idaho, awaiting his next court appearance, which will be in June. Tonight, new insight into how close he came.
Xana Kernodle, her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonzalez. Families and friends still await.
To the Idaho student murders, the suspect appeared in a new courtroom and before a new judge on Thursday. Lawyers for the defense are fighting to take the death penalty off the table.
Today, we explore the tragic story of the University of Idaho murders, where 4 young lives were taken in a shocking act of violence. We'll examine the timeline of events, the victims' backgrounds, and the ongoing investigation that has captivated the nation. Join us as we uncover the details behind this heart-wrenching case and its impact on the community. Introduction to the case. The case of Bryan Kohberger has captivated public and media attention due to its chilling and tragic nature. On November 13, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were brutally murdered in their off-campus home. Their shocking death sent ripples through the college community and the nation, raising urgent questions about safety, security, and the motivations behind such senseless violence. The students, who were well-liked and had promising futures, were suddenly taken from their friends and families, leaving a profound sense of loss and disbelief. As the investigation unfolded, the close-knit community in Moscow, Idaho, grappled with fear and uncertainty. Local residents struggled to comprehend how such a horrific crime could occur in their town. In response, authorities launched a multifaceted investigation, examining evidence, interviewing witnesses, and following leads. The investigation eventually uncovered disturbing details about Kohberger, a criminology graduate student who had a deep interest in criminal behavior. This revelation raised many questions about his potential motivations and the circumstances leading to the tragic events, prompting further scrutiny and speculation from the public and media alike. Background of Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger, a 28-year-old graduate student in criminology, was studying at Washington State University when the tragic murders occurred on November 13, 2022. Originally from Pennsylvania, Kohberger has a solid background in criminal justice and behavioral psychology, which informed his academic pursuits. His interests in the intricacies of the criminal mind and behavior placed him in a unique position to understand the factors influencing criminal actions. However, this same background sparked considerable scrutiny once he became a suspect in the Idaho murders. As investigators dug deeper, they examined Kohberger's life prior to the incidents, revealing a complex individual who had been immersed in the study of crime. His academic career included research on criminal behavior, specifically focusing on the motivations behind individuals committing violent acts. This knowledge raised questions about his potential motivations for the alleged crimes and how his education may have influenced his actions. Kohberger's interactions with peers and professors are now under review, as people seek to understand the circumstances leading up to the tragic events. Friends and family have expressed shock at the allegations, stating that they could not envision him as capable of such violence. The investigation continues to explore the psychological and environmental factors that may have contributed to his actions. This inquiry is critical, not only to the legal proceedings against him, but also to the broader understanding of how individuals like Kohberger might spiral into violence. His case remains a chilling reminder of how the line between academic study and real-life actions can sometimes blur, leading to devastating consequences for communities. Victims and background. The 4 victims of this heinous crime were not just students, they were vibrant young individuals full of life, dreams, and aspirations. Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogen were lifelong friends and roommates, well known for their infectious laughter and adventurous spirits. They often spent their time together, creating lasting memories that reflected their close bond. Xana Kernodle was another spirited student, recognized for her artistic flair and enthusiasm for life. She cherished her close relationship with her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who was also a victim of this tragic event. Ethan was celebrated for his athleticism and commitment to his studies, embodying the promise of a bright future. Each victim contributed unique qualities to their friendships and community, leaving behind devastated friends and family. Their untimely deaths emphasize the tragedy of violence against young adults and the significant emotional toll on those who loved them. As the community mourned, the search for justice intensified, highlighting the urgent need for safety and support in environments where young people gather. The night of the death. On the night of November 12, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, enjoyed an evening out at a local bar. They returned home in the early hours, blissfully unaware of the impending tragedy. At approximately 2 a.m. on November 13th, a 911 call reporting an unconscious individual sent police to their residence, where they made the horrifying discovery of all 4 students murdered. The local law enforcement quickly initiated an extensive investigation, diligently collecting evidence and interviewing witnesses. As days turned into weeks with little progress, the community became increasingly anxious and fearful. The lack of information only heightened the urgency for answers regarding the brutal crime. A major breakthrough occurred on December 30, 2022, when Bryan Kohberger, a criminology graduate student, was arrested in Pennsylvania. Authorities linked him to the murders through DNA and forensic evidence gathered from the crime scene. Kohberger's arrest was a pivotal moment in the investigation, as his background in criminology sparked questions about his potential motives and how someone with such knowledge could allegedly commit such a horrific act. With Kohberger in custody, the community finally began to feel a sense of relief. While the investigation continued, the arrest brought hope for justice for the victims and their families. The case garnered national attention, highlighting the need for safety and support within college communities. As more details emerged, the focus shifted to the legal proceedings ahead, with the community united in seeking answers and justice for the 4 young lives tragically cut short. Arrest and investigation. Bryan Kohberger was apprehended in Pennsylvania after a meticulous investigation that spanned several weeks. The authorities utilized a combination of DNA evidence, surveillance footage, and witness statements to build a strong case against him. The DNA evidence collected from the crime scene played a crucial role, linking Kohberger to the brutal murders of the 4 University of Idaho students. Surveillance footage from the area surrounding the victim's home provided vital clues, allowing investigators to trace his movements during the time of the murders. Additionally, witness statements helped law enforcement piece together a clearer picture of the events leading up to that tragic night. The dedication of law enforcement officers to solving this case exemplifies the rigorous methods employed in high-profile investigations. Their thorough approach not only showcases the effectiveness of modern investigative techniques, but also underscores the importance of collaborative efforts among different law enforcement agencies. The successful apprehension of Kohberger highlights how vital comprehensive police work is in seeking justice for victims and their families, providing a sense of closure to a grieving community longing for answers. Charges against Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary in connection with the tragic deaths of the 4 University of Idaho students. These serious charges reflect the gravity of the crime and highlight the significant legal implications he may face if convicted. First-degree murder is classified as a premeditated and intentional act of killing, which typically carries the harshest penalties under the law, including the possibility of life imprisonment or even the death penalty, depending on the jurisdiction and specific circumstances of the case. The severity of the charges indicates that law enforcement and prosecutors believe they have substantial evidence to support their claims against Kohberger. The presence of DNA evidence, along with other investigative findings, suggests a thorough and methodical approach to building a case. Additionally, the burglary charge implies that he unlawfully entered the victim's home with the intent to commit a crime, further complicating the legal landscape. As Kohberger navigates the legal process, he faces a significant uphill battle. The prosecution will work to present a strong case, while Kohberger's defense team will aim to challenge the evidence and argue for his innocence. The outcome of this case not only affects Kohberger's future, but also has far-reaching implications for the families of the victims and the community of Moscow, Idaho. The community, which has been deeply shaken by the events, is eager for justice and closure. As the trial progresses, many will be watching closely, hoping for answers and a resolution to this tragic case that has left a lasting impact on their lives. Court proceedings and trial updates. The trial of Bryan Kohberger has attracted substantial media attention, captivating audiences both locally and nationally. This heightened interest stems from the tragic nature of the case, as well as the serious charges he faces, including 4 counts of first-degree murder. News outlets have closely monitored Kohberger's plea and courtroom proceedings, providing regular updates that offer insights into the complexities of the legal process. These updates have highlighted various aspects of the trial, including the strategies employed by both the prosecution and the defense, the evidence presented, and the testimonies from witnesses. As the trial unfolds, reporters and analysts delve into the intricacies of criminal law, educating the public about the judicial system's workings. This coverage not only keeps the community informed, but also fosters discussions about broader issues such as public safety, mental health, and the challenges law enforcement faces in preventing violent crimes. The media attention reflects the public's desire for transparency and understanding in a case that has deeply impacted the community of Moscow, Idaho. The outcome of the trial is anticipated to have far-reaching implications not only for Kohberger but also for the families of the victims and the community as a whole. A conviction could provide a sense of justice and closure to those affected by the tragedy, while an acquittal may leave many with lingering questions and concerns about safety. The emotional stakes are high, as the trial symbolizes a quest for answers and accountability in the face of unimaginable loss. As the proceedings continue, all eyes remain on the courtroom, underscoring the trial's significance in shaping perceptions of justice and community healing. Media coverage and public reaction. The extensive media coverage of this case has had a significant impact on how the public perceives it, sparking a wide range of discussions about crime, safety, and justice. News outlets, social media platforms, and television programs have continuously covered the details, ensuring that the case remains in the public eye. This constant attention has led to heightened concerns about the safety of communities, particularly in relation to violent crimes, and how justice is served in high-profile cases. In addition, the media's portrayal of the individuals involved has played a role in shaping opinions. Whether focusing on the victim's life, the suspect's background, or the legal proceedings, the public has formed strong views based on the narratives provided by the media. These portrayals can influence perceptions of guilt or innocence, often before a formal verdict is even reached. This influence has brought about conversations on the importance of fair trials and unbiased reporting. Another key aspect of the media's role in this case is the ongoing debate about mental health. Reports often touch on the mental state of the individuals involved, which has led to wider discussions about mental health awareness, its role in crime, and the availability of mental health support. This conversation is crucial, as it highlights the intersection between crime and mental health, and challenges society to consider the role mental health plays in violent incidents. Ultimately, the media's coverage has shaped the public's understanding and raised important questions about how these cases should be handled, both in the courtroom and in the media, to ensure justice and public safety. Thank you for joining us to explore the tragic case of the University of Idaho murders. This story underscores the importance of community safety and the ongoing search for justice for the victims. We hope it encourages awareness and support for those affected by violence. If you found this meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe For more insights into crime stories,